Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Adam, how's it going?
It's going good, Steven. Good weather in DC this weekend. Just kind of took it
Yes.
easy, went to a show, and yeah, really just kind of enjoyed the weekend. How about you?
Good. I was weekend. For the most part, I chilled, but I did get out here and there. I have a group of old coworkers that we celebrate birthdays and weddings, things like that. So it was one of the women in the group, Tammy, her birthday. We had lunch yesterday, so that was great. But
Nice. How about you, Chike? How was your weekend?
Weekend was pretty good. It's kind of quiet, just home chilling. It rained a little bit here, so
Mm.
yeah. Well, I was telling Chicken before we started recording that I have baby gates, downstairs for my dog, right? And yesterday I took my dog upstairs this weekend I took my dog upstairs for the first time, and he was like, "Whoa, what's this?" Right? And so today, one of the baby gates, he can just he can just walk through it. It's not even sturdy. And so I was in my room today, and I was like, "What's that noise?" He was trying to come up the stairs. I said, "Uh-oh, I
Yeah,
heard a
he's
monster."
like he's like, you've kept this from me this whole time. There's a whole nother room to this house.
Right.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
But he was going to the rooms upstairs. Like, what is this? What is this? But yeah, I said I should have done
That's awesome.
that.
Well, he'd have to find out eventually, right?
Yeah, yeah. But the good thing is he can't get up the stairs by himself, which he did it over the weekend. I don't know why he can't do it now, but whatever.
he's gonna learn how. That's the 52 fake out.
Oh, he'll learn. Yeah, he's getting
Yeah.
big too. Well, anyway, I'll let y'all take away movie reviews.
Yeah, sure thing. So I originally intended to go see Killers of the Flower Moon, which was, the big Martin Scorsese movie, but I decided I didn't want to sit in the theater for 3.5 hours. I was duped by The Irishman. I didn't think it was that good. That was way too long. And I know this movie's good from what I've heard, and I will get around to it, but I am just not ready to sit 3.5 hours for one movie. So what I decided to do is actually catch up on some of the latest TV shows out there. And the first one I want to talk about is Bodies. And I don't know if either of you seen this, but it's a Netflix series that just came out, and it is a sci-fi detective show. Is the best way to put it. It's a British themed, but essentially you have four different time periods, and during these time periods, a detective in each time period discovers the same dead body in the same alley. And it's the same person, as the audience knows. And so it kind of triggers this whole like, what is this? What's going on? And as the audience, we're seeing these things happening in this four timelines. And I'm only a few episodes in, but it's really good. I had my like detective show phase. Luther, I was a big fan of, and then kind of in the old Sherlock stuff. But for TV shows, I always felt like the detective shows kind of were a little drawn out after a while. So I kind of leaned against them for a while. But this one is bringing me back in, and I like the sci-fi element. I will say this is not much of a spoiler, but in the first episode, you see that there's 2023, and then it'll go back a few other timelines, but then at the end it goes forward to a timeline to 2053 where these things happen. And so again, it kind of expands on that sci-fi element. But I'm loving it. I will finish it. I think it's like only 8 episodes for this limited series, but yeah, it's really cool, intriguing, and if you're a fan of detective shows, this is up your alley. um the other
That's on
things.
Netflix.
Yep, it's on
Okay.
Netflix. That just came out again a few days ago. But yeah, easy watch. I think 8 episodes, and so you'll know if you like it or not.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, 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 I think it's Chike. If you end up watching it, let me know your thoughts, because I think yeah, it's kind of intriguing, and again, not to like spoil too much, but each person is kind of has their own, like they're dealing with certain issues in their own time period. Like the modern day is like a Muslim woman, and she's got to deal with like a far right movement and things going on. And then in the 40s, it's a Jewish man, and he has to deal with that kind of the anti-Semitic parts of London at the time. And so it's again a lot of little like extra layers of themes that really kind of
Okay.
yeah, it really pulls you in.
Okay. All right.
Um, yeah, yeah.
Sounds
The
nice
net,
and complicated, like I like.
Yes, exactly. And I will fear that they're gonna go and do something really weird or ridiculous, or it's gonna get to the end and they're gonna just kind of like cop out and give us like some silly explanation. But I'm hoping that's not gonna happen. So I'll hold my judgment till the end. But yeah, it seems fun so far.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Is that it for you?
No, so I got a couple more. So
Oh,
Loki
good.
season two, the Marvel series. In my opinion, the first season of Loki was the best Marvel TV series. I like what they're doing with this season so far. Loki's back. They're kind of keeping it. I don't want to say isolate or individualize, but I think some Marvel shows were like kind of trailers in between movies for setting you up for the
Yes,
next movie. This
right,
one, and I'm only a few episodes in this one so far, it seems like it's trying to stick to its standalone. So it's just giving us that story we want without like trying to be like, oh, come watch the rest of the story in a movie.
right.
Um, so I'm liking it so far as well. Um, and then finally, Lupin. And I don't know if either of y'all, I'm sure we've talked about it in the past, but this is, our favorite French thief is back on a new season. And Omar Sy plays the main character. And this is, again, another, it starts off well. There's another heist. He's doing something, he's stealing an artifact. And really going to see what happens here. Again, I'm only a few episodes in, but I'm really loving it. Omar Sy does a good job. This is just one of those shows where I think the characters are so personable and you really want to see what they're doing. And also it's a little more variety. So, it's French
Yeah.
produced, French based. I do have it on subtitles because I think it's better to watch that way for shows like this and just kind of hear the nuances and see the back and forth. So if you were a fan of the last season of Lupin, which was split into two parts, so some people call it like season 1 and 2, and then this is season 3. I consider it season 1, part 1 and 2, and this is season 2. But either way, if you enjoy him, you'll enjoy this. And I will also add though that this you don't really have to know too much of the last season. They kind of pick it up and they kind of start with a new heist, and there are characters from the last season, but it's not. It's a new story with the same characters, is what it feels like. So you don't have to
Mm,
really be too aware of what happened in the last season.
okay.
Um, yeah, and so yeah, that's it for me. So yeah, really just kind of catching up on some good, what I think is quality TV that's coming on right now. I didn't watch the morning show, so I can't speak to that, but I'm sure there'll be some thoughts.
Because you're a
I
hater.
didn't. I
Hey, Steven, give me that Apple login, and I'll change my mind.
Right.
Adam, do you watch anime at all?
I try, I can't. Yeah, I try, but I can't get into it as much as I would like to.
Okay. I caught the new season of Castlevania
I've
on
heard good
Netflix.
things.
Very, very good. It's very surprising because I wasn't expecting to see it, and then I saw it. But I just want people that follow that story. This season is a different. It's a continuation, but it's a variation.
Hmm.
It's like maybe another window in another timeline. So I don't want people to be confused when they see it because it's Castlevania and then there's another name under it. It's not your regular Castlevania.
Nice.
But I finished it. It's awesome. Check it out if you're a fan. Um, the next thing I saw was The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster, which I thought was a crazy title.
It is.
And then, of course, in watching the movie, it's basically a modern day uh, Frankenstein movie, but
Mm,
from the hood in a female
wow.
perspective. So it stars Alea DeLeon Hayes, Denzel Whitaker, you know him from Black Panther, and Chad Coleman, you know him from The Wire and The Walking Dead. I thought that the themes in this film and what it related to in within the Black community was very strong, and what the
Mm,
monster represented to the girl, but also the problem that the monster represented to the girl. If you watch it from an artistic point of view, because it's set up as a horror film, if you just watch it that way, it's not that interesting as a horror film.
Hmm.
I mean, and there's some moments of horror, but it's more interesting as the poetic work of art that it is. So I encourage people to watch it with that point of view, with the things represent, not so much what they actually are.
Yeah, I have never read Frankenstein, but I've heard endlessly that it's like one of the best stories because it's more than just a monster story. It's really about humanity and people and like really what happens and what you
Yeah.
become. So it's good to hear that they can keep those themes going.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And now I'm checking out a new series. It's not new. It's been on the MGM Plus network, and they finally put it on Amazon Prime. And I'm hooked already though. Billy the Kid, and it stars Tom Blythe, Daniel Weber as Jesse Evans from the Jesse Evans gang. I have a propensity sometimes to get into my westerns. It's probably why I like Yellowstone so much.
Hmm.
I have a way of it reminds me of my childhood a little bit because my dad and my uncles were into cowboys, and so it kind of brought me in. And then I used to ride horses a lot when I was a kid, so I have part of that in me. Um, I really think that this is a really good show about what people that were in America in the 1800s, how they lived and what drove them as, in society. And it was to branch out and to have things of their own. They wanted to stamp their name in the soil somewhere. And so they all moved west as pioneers. And this is where it starts with Billy as a child. And his family are Irish immigrants who are trying to find a better way of life. And then how the migration starts to take its toll on humanity again, creating different type of thought processes and how you survive, how it gets more scarce, the humanity, the further out you go, because you're out there trying to survive. And the birth of him in the midst of all that. So it's pretty interesting to see how he came to be who he became.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of ads for that on Prime and on you said Paramount, right?
Yes.
Or yeah,
And so when you
yes.
when you look at the posters and everything, it kind of looks like fluff. It kind of looks like, but it's not. Like they really get down and deep and deal with some issues.
That's good to know. Yeah,
Yeah,
because it did look like just another like they were kind of cashing in on Yellowstone fame, and they're just like, oh, we'll
yeah,
make another Western. So I'm glad to hear they did more than that.
yeah, absolutely. And I think that's it for me. And the morning show, we could talk about that.
Yes.
So I listen. I just want a small clap for the writers in the writers' room. I appreciate you and thank
They're
you
back.
for
They're back.
making this show very
Such great
interesting
TV.
and layered the way that it is. It's one of those better shows.
Adam, you are missing out. I'm telling you.
I'll wait till they're done with it, and then I'll
So
watch it
listen,
all at
so Adam,
once.
listen. So it comes out. I thought it came out on Thursdays. It comes out on Tuesdays, I believe. But I purposely wait until the end of the week where I have no distractions and I can just watch
Yeah.
it. I
Uh-huh.
don't watch it during the week because during the week I'm usually doing 100 things at one time.
Hmm.
But if I wait till the weekend where I can really just like usually a Friday night or Saturday, whatever, and I can just watch it and just spend that time watching it because
And
it's
Steven,
so
doesn't it always seem like it's so short? It always seems like it's
yes.
so
I'm
short.
like, no, it's over yet already.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Well, I will say this, Steven or any of our listeners, if you want to give me the Apple login, I'll give it a shot.
You do us
But
a favor.
otherwise, I'll wait.
It's good, and it's interesting how you see the character development this season with different characters, like Stella's character.
Hmm.
Um, you learn more about her background, and even like the cast members that we already knew, but even like Corey, like Chike and I were talking about this before we came on air. Um, we got to meet his mother, and she was a trailblazer in the news, in the media back in her day, and she's still very hands on, but she plays the part like, oh no, that's old. I don't do that anymore. But you can tell she's very still part of everything, and how they kind of butt heads, because they both have that driven mentality, but it causes them to butt heads,
Yeah.
So it's just I don't know. I think it's well done. I love this show. I love the show. I really do.
We know what you think. How's Big Brother?
How about tell you my picks? Okay. Finish Love is Blind. I finished Love and Blind this weekend. Surprisingly, only one couple got married this
Wow.
season. And at first I didn't. So they went on a date. It was funny. When I had lunch yesterday, I was asking the women at the table if they could go on that kind of show. Miss Parker was there. She said nope. And so, because you don't get to see the person, until you propose. But there was one couple. She's 30 and he was 24, and she was initially concerned about his age. She's Puerto Rican. He's Black. She was concerned about his age, but it turns out they both went to school for chemistry or something like that, and they have that in common. And he's very like mature for his age, but you still see that young 24 sometimes. And so the way the show sets up, you don't meet when you talk in pods for 10 days, and then you go off. All the couples who said I do, they all go off to like Mexico or something like that for weeks. You get to see, I was talking to this person. That's what they look like. You know what I mean? But you're still with this person that you agree to be with. And then after that, you stay, I think it's 2 weeks in the house with the person that if y'all move forward, you stay in the house together. So that's when you're meeting their family, their friends, that kind of thing. And so there was one couple who they hit it off in the pods. She looks like Khloe Kardashian to me. And they asked her before she met him in person, what do you think he looks like? And she said, probably tall, blonde. And he was complete opposite. And so, but she met, and she even said, I'm not concerned about his looks because I fell in love with who he was as a person. That was a way of telling us this ain't the one I would pick. But she went with the process. And it was like he was on the Beyonce mute challenge. He barely said anything the whole time. And then when she kind of confronted,
I don't want to interrupt you, but you told the story last week.
I know. Well, anyway. Well,
okay. I feel, yeah. No, I'm like, you're going to talk about how she thought she wore too much makeup. Like, yeah. We got this story.
Okay, sorry.
So,
anyway,
it's a good story, but we heard it last week. Yeah.
I saw the reunion. So anyway, the couple that got married, 30-year-old, 24-year-old, and they had a dinner before the wedding day, right? So the wedding day is where you decide you're going to say, I do. Like, you get to the altar, you go say, I do.
That's how it works. Okay.
Anyway, and so they went to dinner, and he was saying that he feels like he's walking on eggshells with her because she takes everything. She's easily offended. Anything he says, she's ready to break down. And of course, she did then. Oh, it's good to see you. Don't trust me. It's good to see you. I mean, I knew exactly what he's talking about, and she did it. Then she walks out and starts crying. Anyway, but they did get married. And actually, they asked her first, do you say I do? She said, I do. And I wasn't sure if he was going to say I do. But he did. And I actually was happy for them. I was actually very happy for them. But it was interesting. I think they will. So the reunion is a year and a half after the show. This one was a year and a half after, and they're still together. And they love it. They're seeing it there in love. Yeah, but it was interesting how some of the cast, they even circled the block and started dating each other again. It didn't work out. There was one couple who I thought they were going to get married. She's very practical. The wife, she's very practical, but she said that he taught her to think from her heart because she's always in her head. But she told him at the altar, which I don't even see a problem with this. She said, she gave him great words when she did her vows, but she said, I just need some time. I need time. And her family loved him. Everybody got along. And he said, okay. They kissed after she said no, pretty much. But then after that, he lost it. When they got on this thing, he was like, when will ever be time? But anyway, so apparently they did date after the show, but they broke up. But now they're like this, and they give each other dating advice. So they're good. They're friends.
Nice.
Yeah. But it was good. It was good. Anyway, yeah, I couldn't do this show like that, but it was good. So then Big Brother is great. It's now people are they're really backstabbing each other and telling you one thing. And the girl is on the block now. I really don't like her, so I'm glad. I hope she goes home. But she's funny because she'll literally tell you, I will make sure I vote for you. I have your back. And then she'll get the confessional. Well, I really? Probably not. But I will tell you. I do like that about her.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
but she's on the block now. And even when she knew she was going to block, she said, let me try to save myself. So she was, selling him the house, a dream. And she said, I don't know if any of this is going to actually be true, but let me see what I can do. But yeah, so I like her for that part, but I'm glad she's going because I don't like her. At least on the show. But that was that. Oh, I know we're gonna talk about things coming up. So, because I have my dog now, I watch a lot of YouTube TV. I mean YouTube. So they have cat TV. He loves cat TV, not dog TV for whatever reason. But they have previews. And previews, they had something for Priscilla Presley. I thought that's another Elvis movie, but it's actually based on her. And it looked very fascinating. I didn't catch whether it comes on or whatnot, but the preview looked really good. Then there's also another movie coming out with Issa Rae, love Issa Rae, and it's about she's an author, and so she's at like one of those press tours, and she's sitting there, like with the Oprah, and she says, and they were talking about how I just wanted to do a book that represented my community, and the interviewer said, "Well, do you mind reading from it?" And it was like just the most ignorant. It was like cliche, all the stereotypes, and then they all apply. So there's a serious author who he's a black man, and they want him to write another book, but he's like, I don't know where I fit into. And they're like, we want you to write a black book. He said, what is a black book? I'm a black man. I wrote it. No, we need a black book. So he writes this book again, satire, stereotypes, and it goes like sells all these books. And now he's being pulled in all these directions, and he hates the book because he was being funny when he wrote it. And so I don't know, but they had a good cast in there. Sterling Brown is in there. Issa Rae, this actor, I've seen him before. I can't think of his name, but it was like a good cast.
Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah. So I want to see that.
Nice.
But
yeah.
It was just funny because Issa Rae, and I don't know why knowing her, why I didn't think it'd be funny because they're like, and why did you decide to write this book? Well, I wanted something to represent my community. Would you read an excerpt? She's not reading it. And I'm like, the world. But anyway. But yeah, I
that looks
definitely
like it's gonna be funny.
Yeah.
Anything coming out of the pipeline for you all?
I will eventually get around to the Killers of the Flower Moon. But there's actually another one called The Killer. And this comes out, I think, actually in November. But it's Michael Fassbender plays a hitman that gets involved in whatever, blah, 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 international intrigue. But what is good about this is it's directed by David Fincher. So that's, Fight Club, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Panic Room, Zodiac, Gone Girl, all these. He's a really good director. So I think whatever it is, it's going to be good just because he's involved and he's going to make it kind of a better than just your run of a mill like assassin manhunt movie.
Yeah. Awesome. What about you, Chike?
So there's a new series coming. I believe it's coming to Paramount. It's called Bass Reeves. If anyone knows about Bass Reeves was like the first black cowboy lawman. The Lone Ranger story is loosely based off of who he was and who he is in history. If you don't know who Bass Reeves is, look him up. But there's going to be a series based off of his life that's going to start next week.
Okay.
Nice.
I love the Black Cowboy. More about that because you didn't hear a lot about it. There was a movie on Netflix, I believe, last year about that was really good about the Black Cowboys in Chicago. But off topic, there's a movie coming out. So I was in Jamaica this summer, and I can't think of the man's name, but he's known as the Black Moses there in Jamaica. And the guy who played in Black Panther, remember the one that beat his chest or whatever he did, or barked or whatever
the fun. Yeah.
He's actually playing him in the movie. He's playing the person in Jamaica. So I can't wait to see that when it comes out. But yeah. Nice. Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for letting us know what to spend our time and our money on, what not to. Morning show, gotta check it out, Adam. We'll be right back after this.